Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the next in CPO's series of box set reissues of things that they've issued in box sets before, but maybe not quite as complete as the current box set. I have to go dig out the other one and look. But here we have the Ture Rangström Symphonies. Ooh, who the hell is he? Good question. He lived from 1884 to 1947. He's a very interesting Swedish composer who wrote 4 symphonies and other orchestral pieces, and a little bit of chamber music, very little, which is included on this disc. In this box as well. Now, the symphonies feature the Norrköping Symphony Orchestra under Michail Jurowski, who's fantastic. He's always a good conductor. I don't think he ever made a bad record. And then the chamber works are with Tali Olsen, violin, Mats Janssen, piano, and the Holman Quartet. And they're all short, small works, or, a couple pieces in like suite form with tiny movements. He was not really much of a chamber musicist, though it's very nice to hear. It's good to have it all together here. But the symphonies are interesting because Rangström, although very, very well trained, and, he had the education ground into him by like all the right people, did not compose symphonies and other orchestral works in a particular style. He was not a sonata formalist German symphonist guy. He was more of a orchestral dramatist. He liked painting pictures. He was spontaneous and romantic and impulsive. And so his structures, I think they hang together rather well in terms of their scheme of contrast and a lot of really ravishing melodic ideas, which gets you a long way. I say this over and over again. If you can write a tune, who gives a damn about form? The tunes will carry you, as they so often do with so many other composers. And he wrote some wonderful tunes. So that's sort of, he understood that. Let's put it that way. And so his 4 symphonies are very different from each other, but also big and bold and ambitious and, dynamic and full of exciting climaxes. You love them. If you like romantic music, you're going to love them. But they're kind of indescribable. You have to listen to each one individually and, draw your own conclusions. So all 4 symphonies fit on 3 discs with other pieces. The first CD has a tone poem called Dithram, which is what it sounds like. Dithram is a dance thing, really crazy dance thing. And it's lots of fun. It's just big and colorful and exciting. Then there's the first symphony, which is absolutely lovely. And something called Farhim, a little 8-minute sniglet to round out the disc. And it's all lovely music. It's Scandinavian, there's beautiful woodwind writing, there's a feeling of nature, but also, some really monumental moments. You should hear that. It's really great. Then we have Symphony number 2, which is the biggest of all of them. It's 37 minutes long. And it's an advance over number 1, I think, in terms of its general cohesion. Its scheme of contrast is bigger and bolder and more confident. But again, it's well, let me just tell you what the movements are so you get a sense of it. Hang on a minute. You really have to hear it. You can't describe these things in words, obviously. The first symphony, by the way, was August Strindberg in memoriam. And the second movement, the beautiful Andante, is a legend. And then there's a struggle and a troll thing, and it's all that stuff. Symphony number 2 is Midland. So, it's one of those, Mavlas things, kind of. It's in 3 movements. Allegretto grave e fantastico is the first movement. Skog and Wagen and Sommermatten, Andante e scherzo all'improvvisazione. So it's like got Swedish seasons and waves and all kinds of things happening. And then the finale is just really exciting. It's a big energico finale. It's 3 big movements. So that's really, really, really fun. It's coupled to the Intermezzo Drammatico, which is not really all that dramatic. I mean, the opening is allegro patetico, but it's beautiful. And most of the inner movements, the inner stuff, is rather slow. There's a dance and an elegy and a nocturne and then a march finale. Very attractive, very, very pretty. But, it's not going to like knock your socks off with, dramatic whatevers. The third symphony is Song Under the Stars. And that's a one movement piece in 22 minutes duration, marked maestoso. I mean, it has lots of inner contrast. And it's big. And it's well, what do you expect? Song Under the Stars. It sounds like something that you bought from the Longines Symphonette Society back in the day on television. A 2 CD set for only $9.99. Anyway, 8-track cassette only $12.99. But it's really, really slam banging work. And the last is Invocatio, and that's symphonic improvisations for orchestra and organ. And it's in 5 movements. The alla toccato, I mentioned, is allegro arrabbiato. Angry. Oh, yeah, with a chattering xylophone and all kinds of crazy stuff happening. It's just wonderful music. So I really recommend very strongly that you either, if you can stream some of this and sample it, do it. They're beautiful performances, very well recorded, extraordinarily captivating music. That's as good as unknown. And if you have this, you'll have really all the Rangström you probably will need for the rest of your life, and you'll be glad that you have it. It will enrich your existence on this mortal orb, I promise you. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.